The CS Transport, Kipchumba Murkomen, through his official Twitter account, he tweeted, and I quote, "As promised, I have released the SGR agreements to the people of Kenya. I have given a copy to the majority leaders at Kimani Ichung'wah and at Aaron Cheruiyot for them to table in the respective houses of parliament. I have also shared a copy with the media." End of quote. Personally, I had a chance to have a look at the document that was binding the lender, who was the Import and Export Bank of China, and the borrower, who is the Kenyan government through the CS Treasury, by then the CS Henry Rotich. And as far as this document is concerned, actually it raises more questions than answers. Like, for example, how hard was it for the CS Transport, Murkomen calling on the press to release the binding legal document between the contract of China and Kenya, considering the fact that this is a matter of great national importance, vis-a-vis of him releasing the document through his official Twitter account, considering the fact that millions of Kenyans have no access to Twitter simply because they don't own smartphones? Or is it that the CS Transport feared the hard questions from the journalists? And before we have a look at the legality and illegality of this document, kindly please, if you're watching me for the very first time, kindly please consider hitting on the subscribe button. If you've been watching my videos and you've not subscribed, kindly please consider hitting on the subscribe button. And more so, if you're watching me from a different platform, either Telegram, TikTok, or Facebook, kindly please just head on to YouTube, search for Mohammed Sudi. I'll be the first right person to pop up. If matters socio-economic and political matters are your great areas of concerns, kindly please consider hitting on the subscribe button, so that each and every time that I upload a new video, it will automatically reflect on your notification panel, and by so doing, you'll simply be supporting my content. The CS Transport releasing such a document binding China, who is the lender, and Kenya, who is the borrower, through Twitter, simply makes me believe that this could be just a well-doctored document with an aim of diversionary tactics, so that the common man could forget about the hunger that is affecting him or her, or the drought and famine. And by the way, if you've been very keen with the document, then there's a certain clause you must have seen that it states that the contract binding Kenya and China is very private and confidential. And if I'm just to go by that clause, then that makes me believe that what the CS Transport just released is a well-doctored document just for blackmailing the common man, considering the fact that the real document is very private and confidential and shall never come to the eyes of the common man. Essentially, if I'm just to be realistic and assume that what the CS Transport released is the correct contract form that was signed between China and Kenya, then that drives me to the point that what could be the possible repercussions that Kenya as a country will face, considering the fact that they have breached the terms and agreements of the contract, considering the fact that the terms and agreements of the contract were to be very private and confidential. And indeed, if I'm just to comment on matters privacy and confidentiality, then I believe Uhuru, the former President Uhuru, was very good at that, simply because day in, day out, month in, month out, year in, year out, for his entire regime, he never disclosed the contract. All he kept on saying is, if you want the document, I will release it or give it to the media tomorrow.
Don't even go there. You've seen the Chinese government themselves say that is nonsense. That doesn't exist. Yeah, I am telling you, it doesn't exist.
It's not
all right. You want a copy of the contract? My friend, I'll get it to you tomorrow. And if you prove your point that it exists, that there is anywhere, yeah, then you will have a point.
Personally, I would only believe this is the actual contract between the two nations if at all I will see the page that stipulated that the port was going to be used as collateral, and in case the Kenyan government fails to pay the loan, then the port will be taken by China. But up to this juncture, releasing half-page documents, personally, according to my opinion, I term it as null and void. But that is just my opinion. If you have a contrary opinion to mine, kindly please feel free to drop it in the comment section and I'll give it a right of reply. As I end this, one thing that I know you don't know is that it is more likely that President Ruto may rule this country for 20 years, considering the fact that rumor has it that some UDA allied MPs are drafting a bill so that they can scrap the presidential term limits from the current 5-year term limit to 4. And if that is something to go by, then President Ruto may rule Kenya for 20 years. But I'm going to do a separate episode on the same. Kindly please don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and may God bless you.